What a classic Thor adventure. Flick. Okay, we should go.
Welcome back to Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy. Thor Love and Thunder is a fun space adventure and an emotional love story. There is so much to say about this movie, and trust me, we're gonna say it. We're gonna make a lot of future videos. But today, we need to talk about what Love and Thunder means for Thor's future and what happens next. Thor is now an adoptive father, and being a parent presents a lot of challenges, especially when it's a child that has cosmic powers and can wield a mad titan killing axe. So we have to talk about that and what's in store for Thor and Love. And let's not forget about the credits scene where Zeus sent his son Hercules to kill Thor. So that clash of titans is going to happen in Thor 5, possibly leading to an all-out war of the gods.
And flick. Oh, you flicked too hard, damn it!
But we think there might be something far darker and chaotic brewing for Thor and Love. Don't forget about Gorr's sword, that blade that might unleash a new powerful force that will cover the universe in darkness.
Stupid birds making fun of me.
Hey Doug, what's wrong?
These dumb old birds in the parking lot made fun of my cute little blue shirt. Now I feel silly.
Well, but you look great.
I'll show those birds, I'll show them. Get them now.
Alright then, back to the video. First, we have to start with Thor and Love. At the end of the movie, Thor convinces Gorr to abandon his evil plan of killing all the gods, and instead, he uses Eternity's genie powers to bring his daughter back to life. Interesting parallels here to Thanos. The Mad Titan was so set on his mission that he sacrificed his daughter. Gorr proved that deep down, he's Batman, and he chose his child over his obsession. So the movie ends with Thor and his new daughter teaming up as space heroes. Thor wields Mjolnir once again, while Love swings around Stormbreaker.
Mjolnir. You're back.
The opening montage of the movie establishes that the one thing missing in Thor's life is love. He lost so much, and it seems like he can never find true love. But now he has found love. Literally. He's a father now. This is a completely new and uncharted territory for the God of Thunder. Thor might have lived for over 1,500 years, but this is the first time, that we know of, that he became a father. And Thor had a very complicated relationship with his own father. That could be part of the reason why Thor broke up with Jane after the Dark World.
Sorry to hear that Jane dumped you.
She didn't dump me, you know. I dumped her. This is a mutual dumping.
He wasn't just afraid of the responsibility of having kids. He might have been worried that he's way too much like his own dad, and he was afraid of repeating all of Odin's parenting mistakes. And now, Thor adopted the child of his enemy, just like Odin did with Loki. So, some of those fears might bubble back to the surface because Thor is literally repeating the past. And he already gave Love a powerful magical weapon just like his own dad did. Yeah, good parenting there, Dad. Sure, why not give your kid a titan-killing axe that can withstand the power of all 6 Infinity Stones? I don't know, maybe start with something a little less overkill, like a toy axe. Then slowly transition her into a titan-killing axe, like maybe when she's 21. Just saying.
Well, you're right.
That's going to be Thor's struggle. How does he parent Love? I admit that the scene in the end with Thor and Love was really sweet, so Thor seems like he knows what he's doing, but he's still in a state of grief after losing Jane. She died, and there was nothing he could do to have stopped it. That might make Thor very overprotective of Love. He's going to be terrified about losing her too.
What more could I lose?
So, what's the next adventure for Thor and Love? Based on the movie's ending, they're going to be space heroes. And as we know from the credits scene, Zeus is coming after Thor. He sent Hercules to kill him, and this is going to be an epic clash. Now, we won't get into Thor versus Hercules here because we made an extensive video explaining everything about Love and Thunder's ending. We explored the great story that we can get with the gods clashing and all of that. This isn't just a plug, we covered a lot in that video, so be sure to check it out for the full explanation about the ending. Love, Hercules, what's next for Jane and Valhalla. Instead, let's talk about why love is so important on a cosmic level. Love was brought back to life by Eternity, and we know that she has some cosmic powers. And this could lead to the MCU's next universe-ending villain, who might be the big bad in Thor 5. And love is the key to all of that. Hey, Doug, by the way, I have a solution for your bird respect problem. How would you like to have the official title of Lord Doug?
Oh, that would be awesome, but I own no land.
But you could, like me. I purchased 1 square foot of land in Scotland, which makes me a Scottish landowner, and according to Scottish custom, this allows me to have the title of Lord or Lady, and I purchased this land through a company called Established Titles. They're the sponsor of this video. My land is on a private nature reserve in Edelston, and my purchase helps to preserve their woodlands. That's the cool thing about this certification. It isn't just a novelty gift, it helps protect the woodlands of Scotland. With every order, Established Titles plants trees all over the world. Through their charity partners, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. You get this certificate with an official crest and a unique plot number so you can see the exact location of your land. Then you will be allowed allowed to officially change your name to Lord or Lady, and you can have this on your credit cards or your plane tickets. It also makes for a terrific last-minute gift. I mean, just look at some of these reactions.
Lord Joe Green.
Yes!
Lord Kenneth Delane Albright.
All right. Hey, look at that. You will be calling me Lord!
Right now, Established Titles is actually running a massive sale. If you use the code ScreenCrush, then you get an additional 10% off any purchase. Go to establishedtitles.com/ScreenCrush to get your gifts now and help support our channel.
I will create a world of suffering and pain. Run.
It all starts with Gorr's god-killing weapon, the Necro Sword. Love and Thunder doesn't provide a detailed explanation to the sword's origin. We just know that it's very powerful and a very ancient blade. The Necro Sword allows Gorr to harness the shadows and even travel between realms. Also, the sword allows Gorr to create these nightmarish monsters called the Black Berserkers. Now in the comics, the Necro Sword was created by an ancient entity called Knull. He existed in a time before there was any light in the universe.
Long before the birth of light, there was darkness.
Null is also the symbiote's god. So when the Celestials appeared in the universe, they started creating suns. And Null wasn't a big fan of this whole let there be light crap. So he created the all-black sword, a weapon that's capable of cutting the head off a Celestial. That's why Nowhere is a head that's no longer attached to a Celestial body. Null is the enemy of light, so that means that he wants to wipe out all life in existence, because without the light of the stars, no life can survive.
Without us, our universe will fall into darkness. All life will die.
Null will be the perfect villain for Thor 5, or even an Avengers movie. Unfortunately, it might not be possible for Null to appear in the MCU.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Null is one of the Spider-Man characters who's currently owned by Sony. Since Null is the symbiote god, Sony will want to keep him around for their Venom movies. Probably so he can have like a dance number or something.
My answer yes. Put my best a best, put my 10 a 10, or put my spend a spend.
But no worries, this story can work even without Null, because the MCU has the Chaos King. And the Chaos King was the villain of the Chaos War storyline from the comics, and that is a major Hercules story. The Chaos King is also known as Amatsu Mikabashi. He's based on a Shinto god from Japanese mythology, but he's a far more ancient and powerful entity in the comics. Chaos King is the incarnation of the primordial darkness and chaos. He existed in the dark void that predates the universe itself. Chaos King isn't just an ancient powerful entity of darkness, he's also the counterpart to eternity, meaning that the Chaos King is on the same level as the entity that embodies the entire universe. And this brings us to our theory.
Hold on to your butts.
Let's say that the Chaos King was the entity that created the all-black Necro Sword. So when the universe was created, the powers to be, like eternity, trapped the Chaos King in some cosmic prison. Fast forward billions of years later, and Gorr found the Necro Sword and brought it to the center of the universe, a place of power for eternity. And Chaos King seems to share a type of hive mind connection with the Necro Sword, similar to the one that symbiotes have.
80 billion light years of hive knowledge across universes would explode your tiny little brain.
After Gorr's daughter dies, the sword calls to him, preying on his misery and sorrow.
The ring is trying to get back to its master. It wants to be found.
It manipulates him into wielding it and killing all the gods, very similar to the way that a symbiont latches onto their host and takes advantage of their own grief and rage. When Gorr meets the god Rapu, there's a creature that looks like a Black Berserker, who was the holder of the Necro Sword before Gorr, and the Black Berserker was on a god-killing mission. Killing the pantheons of the gods was also the Chaos King's motivation in the comics. It all fits. I mean, the MCU's Necro Sword had to have been created by the Chaos King.
We gotta properly test this theory.
The Necro Sword is simply an extension of the Chaos King, a vessel that he used to manipulate beings to do his bidding. The sword was controlling Gorr, and the plan was to get to eternity and make a wish that would kill all the gods. But the sword was destroyed and Gorr was freed, and he made the wish to bring his daughter back instead. But then something happened, something unprecedented that opened the door for the Chaos King's return. Eternity brought Gorr's daughter back to life, and he embodied her with the essence of his cosmic energy. We see a hint of that when she first comes back to life. Her reflection in the pool looks like a girl version of Eternity. This is a huge deal, because Eternity is the embodiment of the universe, and this could mean that Love is the MCU's version of Captain Universe. So in the comics, Captain Universe serves as Eternity's guardian, embodied with the essence of his power. Captain Universe is powered by a cosmic force called the Unipower. It's a symbiotic energy field that bonds with beings in danger. The Unipower is born from the Enigma Force, a godly power of light. a force that directly opposes Null's darkness. And in the MCU, Love is going to be the opposing force to the Chaos King, and she is the light that fends off the endless darkness.
Two players, two sides. One is light, one is dark.
So let's say that the Chaos King cannot exist in the universe in a physical form because he's the counterpart of eternity. But Love changes that, and if the Chaos King can take her as a host, then he will extinguish the light of eternity and cover it in darkness. And this creates a powerful personal conflict for Thor. Him fighting Chaos King is more than just saving the world. It's about saving his daughter. It's also a symbolic battle. Chaos King represents darkness, and how do you battle dark? With light. And Thor's thunder is pure light.
You got the lightning. Light the bastards up.
And this is where King Thor can show up. So in the comics, King Thor is a version of Thor from the far, 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 far future. And we just need to see King Thor in the MCU. I really enjoyed Love and Thunder, but it was kind of disappointing because of the story the movie is based on. It's a very loose adaptation of Jason Aaron's amazing God of Thunder storyline, the same story that introduced Gore the God Butcher, as well as King Thor. King Thor lives in a world where Gore the God Butcher unleashed a horde of black berserkers, killing pretty much everyone except King Thor and a few others. So with the MCU exploring time travel in the multiverse, this is how King Thor could arrive. Maybe Love has the power to travel through time, and she and Thor will end up in the future where they will meet King Thor, and an old Thor can be a dark mirror image to present Thor. Maybe King Thor's timeline is the one where the Chaos King won and Love is dead. And King Thor spent hundreds of years battling the Chaos King in a completely dark and hopeless universe. But let's go even darker with this future timeline. Maybe King Thor had to sacrifice Love to save the universe, killing her so the Chaos King couldn't take her as a host. While King Thor saved reality, now he must live with his actions, and that just destroyed him completely.
What more could I lose?
I mean, remember the last time Thor fell into desperation? So imagine how he'll react if his worst fear comes true and he loses Love. This is why I want present Thor to meet his older self, so he has a reflection of his own fears about Love, and together they can all find a way to defeat the Chaos King.
Surprised to see me? A little. I'm more surprised that I lived so long.
Batman, Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, Batman. Or have you met?
Not now!
And maybe with King Thor, present Thor will finally access his Odin Force powers. We saw some of it in the MCU, but never the same extent like in the comics. The Odin Force is a cosmic magical energy of the Allfather, giving Thor near infinite power. And he's going to need some Odin Force to battle the Chaos King. I mean, who knows, maybe Love is the key for Thor to access this all-powerful energy. Also, I'm not sure how or why, but I want Thor to lose his arm like in the comics. And then they can just replace it with a badass Uru metal arm. I just want to see it happen. I don't care what it takes.
Hey, Paul!
Okay, so that's a lot of ideas about the Chaos King, and I didn't forget, Love and Thunder gave us a clear idea of what Thor 5 is going to be, and that is Thor versus Hercules. But Hercules is not a villain, he's kind of like Thor. In fact, Hercules' personality is basically what Thor is right now in the MCU. Meaning that Thor and Hercules will definitely have a proper clash of titans, but I don't see Thor 5 being just about two gods fighting. Sure, the real main villain could be Zeus. Zeus is a god, and he's powerful, but I don't see him as the real big bad of Thor 5. After all, we saw how easily he got beaten in this movie.
I take off your disguise and flick.
Oh!
You flick too hard, damn it!
So here's how I think it could play out. Thor and Hercules will fight, but then they'll become best buds. Zeus will get so angry that he will search for someone that can destroy Thor. And because he's the leader of the gods, he knows all about the Chaos King. And it's going to be Zeus who unleashes the Chaos King on the universe. Since he's an arrogant idiot, Zeus will be sure that he has Chaos King under his control. Remember, Zeus doesn't just want to kill Thor. He wants humanity to worship him like they did in ancient times. He has beef with all superheroes because they represent the new gods. Zeus wants to demolish the idea of superheroes and make an example of Thor. He will use the Chaos King to achieve just that. Let him unleash chaos and kill Thor and the other gods. And then Zeus could just sweep in and save everyone from this universe-ending threat, which will make everyone see what a mighty god Zeus is, and he will once again be worshipped by everyone. But this plan will blow up in his face because the Chaos King will just kill Zeus the moment he's unleashed.
You didn't see that coming?
And then it'll be up to Thor, Love, Hercules, and the other heroes to stop the Chaos King. Now maybe this story is just a little ambitious for just Thor 5, but it can work. Anyways, the ramifications of the Chaos War will be that most gods in the universe will die. The death of the gods will plunge their worlds and the realms into darkness. Someone's going to need to step up and protect those realms. and this could be Thor's next job. Thor will take it upon himself to keep the peace and order among all the pantheons of the universe, a hero who travels the realms of gods. This is something that happened in the comics, where King Thor became a god cop. Love and Thunder even hinted at that. When Thor and his friends go to Omnipotence City and ask the other gods for help, Zeus says that they are not the god police. Every god watches over its own people. But clearly the gods are a bunch of entitled elites who only care about themselves. No one is dealing with the gods in the other realms, and this can be Thor's new purpose, that and, being Love's father. And that's the reason why Thor will assemble a new team to help him keep the peace in the other realms. A team that is similar to the God Squad from the comics.
I'm putting together the greatest team ever.
Are you packed? Yes.
This team can include other heroes who are either gods themselves, like Hercules, or heroes who are connected to the gods in some way, like Love. And then there's Jane. She might have died, but since she's in Valhalla, she could return, possibly as a representative of the land of the gods. She could become a Valkyrie like she did in the comics, or maybe she gets the hammer back and becomes the mighty Thor once again. Although that might be a disservice to her sacrifice, and I hope the MCU won't just undo it the next time we see Jane. But honestly, just give us Beta Ray Bill. It's way past time to introduce him in the MCU. Love is using his hammer axe, but I guess E3 can always forge him a new weapon, and that Corbinite is always gonna need a big boy weapon.
That one of us must die. You have my sympathy, because it will not be me!
And there's also the Asgardians of the Galaxy. As the name suggests, it's a team of Asgardians who deal with Asgard-related threats out in space. I can totally see that team being assembled in the MCU. After all, New Asgard and the other realms need heroes too.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy back together again.
Of course, the real question is, how much Thor's story is left to tell in the MCU? After all, many of us were sure that the mighty Thor means that Thor was going to be replaced. But after 11 years, Chris Hemsworth's still going strong as Thor. And with the reinvention of the character, I don't think that Thor is overstaying his welcome. There is still so much story to tell, so many Thor characters that have never appeared in the movies. Like Gamora the Enchantress, she was a great villain. The MCU sure could use some great female villains. Thor has also been on an amazing run recently in the comics. There's so many great stories to adapt. So, for the foreseeable future, it seems like the God of Thunder is here to stay just a little while longer.
Hello, person.
Well, hello, Lord Duck. Hey, did those birds outside stop teasing you about your cute little blue shirt?
And how? They not only call me Lord Duck, but they also gave me this open jar of bleach.
Hey, that's great news. Congratulations. So that's our ideas for what's next for Thor. But what do you think about our Chaos King idea? What other Thor stories and characters do you want to see in the MCU? Let me know in the comments below, or you can @ me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe and smash that bell. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.